Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of the Wizard of Oz adventure book game, which is for ages 10 and up, 1 to 4 players by Ravensburger. And this is the second game in this series, which started out with The Princess Bride. We haven't done how to play or playthrough with that game or review, but hopefully you've had a chance to check out our how to play and playthrough with the first chapter in this, because there's 6 chapters. This is a storytelling game. And as you see here on the back, gives a nice little summary of what you're going to do. You're going to travel through the land of Oz, and it's going to be 6 chapters in this book here. And you're going to use story cards, courage, heart, brains, magic, and wonder to complete challenges. And this is a cooperative game. So this is what it looks like from the side view here. And you'll open up to this page, and you might need an adult to help press this down. And off to the side here, I show what you're going to need for the chapters that come later. We don't want to give away any surprises here, but if you have seen the movie, we're big fans. We have the 4K one, which is amazing, by the way, if you're into 4K movies and restorations. But in Chapter 2, Glinda will appear with the Munchkins, then the Scarecrow, the Cowardly Lion, and the Tin Man, and the Witch figure will appear in Chapter 3 with the fireballs. Here is the wizard icons. You'll see here the witch's castle, and then here's the curtain. Don't mind the person behind the curtain right there in Chapter 6.
And you know what's nice is on these chapter cards it says Munchkin Land, follow the yellow brick road, Emerald City, I'd turn back if I were you, and return home.
All right, so here's Kansas right here. So you open it up to the beginning of the movie, and there's actually 3 places you got to look for directions. So there's a lot of working memory with this. This is a game that, yes, children can play, but young children definitely will need an adult's help. Because the first thing you're going to do, the rules are quite simple, but there's little details that when you watch the how to play and playthrough that you can get wrong. So here's the setup on this page, on page 3. Then you look at the directions here for the setup for the chapter. And when you're doing that, you also want to look at the FAQ for all 6 chapters. And then you want to look at the challenges. So what's the working memory? Because you can read it and forget about it, but you got to understand all these rules right here and plan ahead. So this one, Dorothy's going to start out in the pigsty. The farmhands are going to be in the haystacks, I believe, right?
No.
Let's see here. It says
Farmhouse?
Right here. Dorothy in the pigsty placed a horse and the cow in their spaces on the happy side. So in this one here, you win this scenario if you can complete all these challenges without the twister getting to the end space here. The twister starts here. Unfortunately, the pig is unhappy. The hog and the chicken are unhappy. And the farmhands have to fix the wagon, which starts out broken, and make all the animals happy by feeding them and caring for them. This is the story deck. This is the main thing we're going to use. Oh, I have a special card in there by accident.
Uh-oh.
You're going to use hearts, wonder, courage, magic, and brains to complete different challenges. And it tells you how many cards you get at the beginning. It's almost always 4. I don't remember it not being 4. So you shuffle them up, and you got to keep it separate from the special cards, because this is a special card deck. So make sure you do that. The special cards you're going to get as rewards as you play, and it's kind of like a deck builder. You're going to be adding special cards into the story card deck, and you can use them from chapter to chapter. So Julie would get 4 cards. I'd get 4 cards. Oh, I didn't shuffle that too well, but that's what I got. And here's the plot deck. You'll shuffle that. And these are almost always bad.
Yep.
Plot cards. You want to get as much stuff done as you can before you draw one. So each farm animal has 2 sides, a happy side and a grumpy side. When the farm hands move to a space next to an animal, they make them happy. So if the farm hands go here, they can make the pig happy. Because in order, we have to complete this challenge here, the shiftless farm hands, each animal must be on its happy side and the wagon must be fixed. So they're going to be moving around, making the animals happy and fixing the wagon. In the meantime, Dorothy can go to the haystacks and has to go to Professor Marvel's to sing the song some over the rainbow. You don't have to do these in
No,
orders.
that's in the haystacks. Professor Marvel's down here.
Right, I know.
Oh.
So she can go to the haystacks to do the sing the song, but you don't have to do it in order. You can go to Professor Marvel first and then go there,
Right.
if you want to. And at Professor Marvel, she needs to spend a courage card, and which we don't have yet,
No wonder.
and 2 wonders.
Yeah.
And then she completes that task. And you show it when you complete a task, you show it like that. And then there will be sometimes rewards like getting special cards. Here, when she's at the haystack, she can spend 1 to 4 wonder cards to sing the song, and she'll get either a Glinda. Now, why do you want these Glinda? The Good Witch icons? Well, if you lose a chapter, you can spend these to restart the chapter. So if you're like on chapter 4, you don't have to start the game all over again. You just start chapter 4 over. Or you can spend it to get 3 story cards. And when we played this, when we went through all 6, we did spend it once to get 3 cards.
Oh, that's right.
Special cards will give you, like for instance, here's the Tin Man.
Good stuff.
And you want these added to your deck because you'll keep these from chapter to chapter. Or this one here acts as you can basically clone another card that you already have. So if you already have a courage card, you can make it 2 courage cards. Or this becomes a wild. So it's a hand management game. You're completing challenges. Now, for this particular chapter, you have to do them in order. And then at the very end, she has to get all the way to the farmhouse, spend a brains and a courage, and she's whisked away to Munchkin Land.
And then you go to the next page.
Right. And you just flip a page for every new chapter. Now, to give you an idea of what plot cards look like, here's a plot card for the Kansas chapter. Move the farm hands to the farmhouse. Flip the cow to its grumpy side. If it was already grumpy, flip any animal to its grumpy side.
Any happy animal.
Any happy animal, thank you. And then move the twister 1 space. Now, why does that matter? Because it says here, you will lose. The twister moves to the house, right here to the end. Or a plot card requires you to flip an animal counter, but all 4 are already grumpy.
We got lucky with that. We made sure when we did our playthrough.
Right. Well, that's because it's a hand management game.
Yep.
In this particular scenario, we don't need to use any magic. So you're going to discard magic to move things. So let me go over the turn order here, and then we're going to go over a positive, negatives, and neutrals. So I explained what you need to do to win, but I didn't explain how the turn sequence works. So your characters, in this case, is Dorothy, and the farmhands are characters. You can move 0, 1, or 2 spaces. You can split it. I can move Dorothy 1 space and the farmhands 1 space, or I can move the farmhands 2 spaces or Dorothy 2 spaces. So you do that first before anything. Then you got your storytelling options, and this can be overwhelming for a young person. You can discard any number of cards to move a character. Now, there's a special rule. Later on in chapters, if Dorothy, Scarecrow, and Tin Man and Cowardly Lion, they walk arm by arm on the yellow brick road, for instance, they can all move together as one. You can also complete a challenge. That's where you spend your story cards. As you saw with the Somewhere Over the Rainbow, you had to spend wonder cards to finish that. You can play special cards, like, for instance, the Tin Man card. You can trade a single card with another player. And that's an important thing to remember. That if I just don't give a card to Julie, you would have to actually trade. Okay? We did that a couple times wrong.
Yeah, we did.
And the last thing is, as I mentioned, Glinda. You can use, if you have a Glinda counter, you can spend it to get 3 story cards, and it's gone forever. You don't get it back, or to restart the chapter. Then when you're done moving your characters and using storytelling actions, you draw 2 cards. Then you draw that plot card, which is almost always bad. And then you make sure that you don't have more than 6 story cards, or cards in general, because you could have special cards in your hand as well. So that's what you do. You're going to be cooperating, hand management, moving around, completing challenges, and to get past the chapter to move on to the next one. All right, so let's take a look now.
It's time for our positives, negatives, and neutrals. Here we go. This is a very thematic cooperative game. I love it. Absolutely love it. The art is lovely. Just the colors are beautiful. The pictures, I mean, just, it's really neat. You really feel like you are in the movie. It's awesome.
I got to show you the next one, don't I?
Yeah, you do. I think there's quality components. David will probably say they're not, but I think they are. I think the I don't know what you call the little
Miniatures.
statues, miniatures. I think they're. I mean, you know who they are.
Well, it's an improvement over Princess Bride.
It's really cute.
Princess Bride was
It was not good.
mediocre.
Yeah, these are good. I mean, just that's Glinda. Look at her little dress. I mean, come on now. We had such a blast playing this, and David had already played some of it before I even did, so we played it together a few days ago, and we played the entire book in one day, and I loved it. It was so much fun. I couldn't wait to get to the next chapter. It was so much fun. The only negative I would say is there's not much replayability. I mean, once you've played it, it's kind of like, all right, well, you know how it's gonna go, so. I mean, you could replay it. It's just you're not going to replay it right away.
I can't see playing it for years, but if we have a youngster,
exactly.
a grandchild, or a young person,
we'll play it then. But we're not going to like whip this out tomorrow and say, "Hey, let's play it again."
Right.
And it's neutral because some people may like having this and some people may not. But there is an alpha player takeover that I kind of didn't mind. I don't mind when David is more like, I think we should do this and this. I'll give you this, you give me that. Where I don't always think of it right away, and I'm okay with that. I really am. He's got years of experience on this stuff, more than I do, and I'm okay kind of being the little follower. So
well, give yourself some credit. You noticed some things when we were playing the chapter. So
yeah.
Yes, there'll likely be an alpha player that will say we better do this, as I suggest. That may dominate. But then other players will make suggestions that the alpha player might not notice. So Julie definitely did that on more than one occasion.
Yay, go me.
So let's take a look at what I have to say. So yeah, it's thematically rich, storytelling, cooperative game that follows the movie to a T. Now this is following... Did I say Disney movie? It was never a Disney movie.
I think you might have said Disney.
I think I did in the How to Play and Play Through by accident.
I think you did too.
I don't think they have the rights.
I never thought
Warner
Disney
Brothers.
even
So,
had the rights.
No, they do not. This is Warner Brothers.
All right, you're going to have to change that.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to change it. I just made the mistake. But it does follow the Warner Brothers movie, not necessarily the books.
Yeah.
So the song challenges are great. If you're a fan of the movie, you're going to start singing
in your head,
Over the Rainbow, or Follow the Yellow Brick Road, or We Are the Lollipop Twins, which are
kids,
which are creepy here. This is the creepiest thing to me, I think.
They really are.
I've always found them creepy, even when I was 10 years old. Okay. Anyway.
I'm not a big fan of them either.
But you're going to want to sing the songs. So it's beautiful art and solid miniatures. It's neutral. It's cooperative solo play with likely alpha player dominance. So Julie already mentioned that. It's likely to happen. Now, as an adult, if you're playing with your youngster, that's where it's up to you if you want to allow your child to make mistakes or not, and learn from those mistakes or guide them. So that's where you can get some tension. It just depends on how old your child is and how comfortable they are with disagreeing with their parents. Neutral is average quality cards and counters.
Oh.
It's not below average, but this is typical card stock.
Oh.
Does not have a linen finish or is it called a foil stamp finish. The counters are decent thickness. It's fine, but they really did improve the miniatures. We were disappointed in the Princess Bride miniatures.
Yeah. True.
Now, some act directions or chapter directions may be difficult to understand for less experienced. We were struggling with a couple challenges here later on in the book. We don't want to give it away. And we had to sit there and we had to look at the fact.
And really figure it out.
And really figure out, what is it asking us to do there?
Yeah.
And when you're talking about, when I said working memory early on, the setup is easy to do. But you got to remember the chapter rules, what happens if you lose, the challenges, and any FAQs. So it could be a challenge for somebody who's not used to juggling that much instructions that are going to change from chapter to chapter.
True.
So when you get to, and so you're going to be rereading things over and over sometimes. Say, look, you got these rules here. If you lose these, and then the FAQ for this. So if someone might have a hard time juggling all that, who's not an experienced gamer. Just keep that in
Agreed.
mind.
Yeah.
And if you play it wrong, so be it.
Yeah.
But it could be a situation where you play it wrong and you have a bad experience.
That's true. And
Now, if
you don't
make,
want that.
Yeah, if you make it easy and you win, no big deal.
Yeah.
But I would hate to have somebody play it wrong and lose and then say this game's terrible. So it's a narrative game we finished. We've tried to play certain narrative games and we've stopped playing them. Sleeping Gods, we didn't. There's some really cool things about it. That's that Cthulhu one with the ship you go around and the
I
combat
don't
was too
remember
hard.
it at all.
Well, that's how, and we sold it. Seventh Continent.
I don't
Seventh
remember that
Continent.
either.
Yeah, well, it's in our sell pile. We didn't like that either. We have yet to finish a story, and we didn't finish Princess Bride.
Nope.
Princess Bride, for one thing, the decks they don't have separate decks in Princess Bride. This is far superior to Princess Bride. They just use one number deck with numbers, and it's not very thematic. And it got difficult. And so we haven't finished Princess Bride, and it seemed like it was too hard with 2 players.
Mm-hmm.
So we said, screw it, we're done.
Yep.
We didn't finish it. This did a good job by having separate decks.
Yeah.
And this is I can't think of another narrative game that we have finished all the way through. And I don't know why did I mean to say positive?
I don't know.
Should be negative, low replayability. So that plus shouldn't be there. That's my mistake. So low replayability. Maybe if you're once in a while, every year or two, you'll play it again.
Yeah.
Or you show other people the game.
Or if you've watched the movie and you're like, oh, well, I forgot I have this game. You
Right.
might want to go play it, but I can't see playing this more than once in a while. Not that it's a bad game. It's just you've already been there, done that.
But let's consider this in terms of value. If you get this on sale with a buy 2, get 1 free or whatever, you might be able to get this for $20. Okay?
Yeah.
So
It's
you
worth
get for
it.
$20. There's probably 6 hours of entertainment here for 2 people.
It's awesome.
That's a good value.
Oh, heck
that's
yeah.
That's a price of, of 3 movies.
Yeah.
Well, the times.
No, not going to the movie theater 3 times.
Well, what I mean is 6 hours is equivalent to seeing 3 movies.
Oh, I see what you're
That's
saying.
what I meant
Yes,
to say.
yes, yes. Okay.
So it's worth it if you look at it that way. And if you
Yeah.
play it again with grandchildren, younger children, that's
Yeah.
okay. That the replayability is low.
Yeah, and this, you get this at Target. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's cheaper if you do that deal.
True.
So I meant to say a minus is low replayability. So let's see how we rate it.
Okay.
Now, we had a lot of positives, right? We had a
Yes,
great
we did.
time. But how do we rate it? Well, a 6 because we'll play it if in the mood.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say, hey, you want to play Wizard of Oz again?
No.
No, because you won't be usually willing to play.
No.
Now, we do suggest that other people buy it,
Yes.
but it will stay in our collection because we love the movie.
Yep.
But even then, we don't even want to watch the movie all the time.
No, we don't.
No, we watch it every now and then.
Yeah.
So consider how often you watch the movie. And if you're
True.
a fan of the movie, if this is something you should get.
Yeah.
Could it be, so that's why the rating is weird.
It is weird.
Because we will only play it in the mood.
Yeah. I mean, I would be willing to play it, but I'd have to be in the mood to do it.
Right. But it's an outstanding game.
It is.
And we suggest you buy it if you're a fan of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And you like storytelling games that, well, for us, we have yet to finish one. This is the first one that we have.
But it is a really good game. Don't let our 6 fool you guys.
Right.
It really is a very, very good game. And like I said, if you grew up with this movie like we did, and
Yeah, every Easter,
it brings you
remember?
good memories. If you can get this game, you guys should do it.
Yeah, remember we used to have every Easter? This
Yep.
is before cable.
Yeah.
We only had 4 channels.
That's right.
The PBS channel.
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah,
WGN.
ABC. Well, I mean, for you in Chicago, but in Tucson,
we got it in Tucson too, WGN.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I remember ABC and
Yeah.
NBC and CBS. That was
Yeah.
it. And PBS.
Right. So they'd always show Wizard of Oz once a year.
Yeah.
We'd always watch it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for watching our videos. Please consider subscribing and liking.
Thanks for going down the yellow brick road with us. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.